Now we're up to the next chapter of Balckberry Bobby. Balckberry Bobby has now been placed in an orphanage, and his mother has been released from a mental institution, and along with the stepfather, they have gone to the courts and persuaded them to give Bobby back to them. So they arrive at the orphanage in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they pick up Bobby. Bobby, of course, is distraught. I know I'm feeling like this is the end of the world, and I can't believe I have to go back to be with this woman. But at the beginning, of course, she acts kind of nice, I guess, cold but nice. And we drive all the way to Michigan, where they now have moved to live. Jack has been dishonorably discharged from the Army, the stepfather. He and she were arrested for robbing someone at a rest stop. Anyway, that summer is probably the worst summer of my life by far. Shortly after arrival, they're still drinking, and Jack's still doing drugs. One of my other brothers has also been removed from the home, Jackie, who I guess is like a couple years younger than me. I'm now 7 or 8, and Jackie, I guess, was one of the other children abused, and he wouldn't sit still while she was cutting his hair, so she cut the top of his ear off. And he's now living in a foster home, and that led to probably the first big incident of this summer. We went to visit him, and he lived with a foster family that lived on a farm, and they had lots of cats, and we played with the cats, but we were told to make sure we put the right kittens back in with the right mother. And we got home later that night, and the woman called to say that one of the kittens had been killed because it had been put back in the wrong thing, and Jean went into and got a ping pong paddle and came out to whip me, and started to whip me and started going crazy. And Jack said, tried to intervene, I guess, and they got into a fight, punching, kicking, screaming. They were both drunk, and Jean came out of the bedroom with a shotgun and shot through the hole in the wall, and it downgraded or de-escalated, I guess, from there real quickly. Then the second thing that happened that summer was the thing that really changed my life. Jack took me to a Detroit Tigers baseball game where he met up with another Marine buddy of his, and they were drinking the whole time. And anyway, they ended up going to play poker with another couple of buddies, and they all got drunk and smoked dope, and I was running around the house, and they got into a discussion about Jean's other son, my oldest stepbrother, Timmy, and how he had been sent back to live with Jack. Jack was bitching about the fact that he had been caught in a sexual situation with the boy, and that he was sure that all the Loomis children were gay, or as he would say, homos. And so I guess somewhere in there they decided to see if I was gay or a quote homo, and that was the day that I was raped and molested. And Jack threatened to tell my mother if I told her anything, and saying that I'd been bad and she'd beat me again. And later that summer, I always had a problem wetting the bed, even up until I was 15. But that summer I wet the bed, and I was scared for her to find out, and so she, I guess the smell, and she found that I'd been wetting the bed, and she came in and she just went crazy. And she at this time had like a belt that she cut into sort of a snake-like tongue V at the end, so she could really whip me with it. And she started chasing me around the house, just beating me, and I ran into the bathroom and tried to get between the sink and the toilet so that she couldn't get a good shot at me, I guess. And when I went to dive, I hit my head on the toilet, and of course it cracked my skull wide open, and I ended up having to go to the hospital. And it was at the hospital that they started asking me how this had happened, and my mother had told me, you tell them what happened, they'll take you away, you'll never see me again. And I can't explain where the courage came from or why. I think it was just out of fear. I said she did it. And next thing you know, I was on a plane back to the orphanage at Charlotte, North Carolina. And I would stay there until I got my first foster family at 10. 3rd, 4th, 5th grades were just I managed to get passed on grade to grade. I'm not sure how. In 5th grade, I brought home, I know, straight Fs, because at that time the manager of the orphanage would give you 7 licks for every F, and I got 49 for 7 Fs. I got one foster family when I was 10. They lived in the country, but it didn't work out. A lot of it had to do with me, and some of it had to do with them. And then that's when my life would take what would be for the best, a change. And I was put in a group home in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I would stay there till I graduated from high school and went to college. And that will be where we pick up the next story of Balckberry Bobby.